on and I went, oh, that's a nice dress. And then when I sit down, I'm like, oh, you guys are just looking straight at my boobs. So you're welcome.
Okay, welcome along, everyone. Do you want to do some shout outs, Lisa?
Okay, so we've got, oh my God, there's some names there. Hone, Marcy, hey, we've got Soup Hat, can't say that name. Stella, that one's easy. Andre, Gaznew. Who else have we got out here? We've got
some new names here this week.
Facundo. We've got Adrian. Oh my goodness, I can't say these names. Parky. Jesse's here again. Hi, Jesse. Hyann. Facundo. Oh my goodness. I'm butchering these names. I apologize. So Tarek, Stephen.
All over
Kelvin,
the world. Let us know what part of the world you're coming to us from, by the way, people.
As I've butchered all your names, so I apologize for that.
Well, you didn't butcher the coins of the week, Lisa. We had two last week, and they've both, one was nearly a 200% gain on the week, and the other DSLA is well over 100. So amazing.
Why you have to be in the coin of the week?
Absolutely. Well, we all wait with bated breath to find out what this week's coin of the week is, but you're going to have to wait for that, people.
Yeah, you have to.
You're going to have to hit the like button because there's a couple of hundred of you watching already, and there's only 50 likes.
My favorite coin of the day. Let's share this. So, everyone on Twitter has probably seen my turtle video. It's appropriate for my dress today. And this is Turtle Coin, which somebody on Twitter told me to buy. And then Crypto Plots, who is Josh, who is with getting started in crypto. We had a joke about it, and he looked it up and he goes, it's not actually a bad coin. So we bought some more, and we're up we were up 770%. I think we're up more now.
Good God. Okay, well, you are the turtle
nearly
stroker, aren't you?
1,000% on Turtle Coin because I'm stroking it.
You are the turtle stroker. I'm looking at the top of your screen there as well. I've got a long night ahead timestamping all these projects by the look of it.
Well, hopefully we don't go that long.
Apologies, they weren't timestamped last week, people. If you were watching the show, you saw how crook I was. I was straight to bed after that, but that will be done this week.
So yeah, so this one is going to hit around 105 with lots of zeros in front, and then it's going to pull back. So it may pull back to around this range, which is about 52. So I don't actually know what this does other than it's called Turtle Coin. And it was just a joke.
Okay, it's not our coin. It's not the coin of the week.
It's not the coin of the week. It's just something that I bought and I think is funny. So I do this occasionally.
Good God. Yeah.
So shall we go back? We'll go back to BTC.
Yeah, we probably should, shouldn't we? We can't really start with Turtle Coin on.
Yeah, we can't.
Okay, from the top, let's get into it.
So BTC, we had this, we've got this pattern repetition that's been happening over the last little bit. So I've got a short 2-minute video on Twitter about this. And so far, it is following perfectly to the squiggles. So right now, though, we've got something very interesting happening. So this is the 15-minute. So we can see on this 15-minute chart, the MAs were starting to curl up. We broke down in this region, and it started to turn down, but it's starting to turn up again. So if we have a look at our RSI, we are pretty close to the bottom. So when we get to these regions down the bottom here, we normally have fairly nice bounces. So we might get one more wave down here to complete this. So if we draw some support lines on this, we possibly have a small bounce in this region. coming up and then coming down. So that will be in line with this BTC chart here. No, wrong one. I've got too many BTC charts. If we can get out of this.
I've got my BYBIT trade open at the moment, Lisa. So I'm waiting with bated breath to see what I should do with it. On that note, people, so if you are an experienced trader, please use our link below for BYBIT.
Yep. So it'll more than likely come up a little bit as we can see it's a little bit green here, retest this MA and then drop down we're going to continue to complete this inverse head and shoulders by the looks of it. This pattern is looking like it is going to happen. So we can see that it's following in this region exactly. So we've got the same motion. So we're at this point here.
You sounded like Carl the Moon there. Exactly.
Exactly.
You're going to go exactly here. Do exactly as I tell you.
It is. It has been going exactly where I tell you for a change. No, it does. It does mostly. So occasionally it has a moment where it decides it's not going to do exactly what I say. So we have got a technical pivot in this region. So we can head up from here, and that still gives us an inverse head and shoulders pattern. It'll just be a shallower right shoulder. So that would, hang on, let me get out that. So that would bring it up to around this point here, which is not unlikely. It happens, and then continue up. So, you know, on this larger pattern, so if we zoom out and go to the higher time frames, where we've got my little Lisa sitting here. So we can see that we are in the channel here, and we're coming down to retest this channel support, which is around 55, 600-ish, maybe 56. We might truncate in this region. And then we've got a target around 77, 700. So this pattern is looking really good at the moment to continue up. So once we've finished this sort of minor corrective phase. So when we're looking at that, BTC is normally a margin traded coin. So we've got a 40% move. So even in a low level margin 10 times, that's 400% in this region. So this is well worth looking at opening it, you know, even laddering in to this trade at the moment in a spot position. And then, you know, once we get to that sort of that channel support, we might get a wick through just so that, you know, the whales and the exchanges can do that liquidity grab, and then we'll continue up. So that's if we don't turn around very, very shortly.
So we're looking at hitting back to potentially what, the sort of 55?
Yeah, possible. We could. There's a pattern that turns around at this point right now. So, you know, that's not impossible. So in this range, I'm just kind of laddering in. Once we've got a definite sort of like indication that we are turning around, then I'll open a margin trade on this. But at the moment, if we're, you know, we're looking at the MAs, no, the EMAs, sorry. And if we were trading this on a 12-hour or a daily, so we would have been long from this point here. So this works the same as a scalping strategy. So where the EMAs cross over, you can use them on the higher time frames. So if we were, you know, on the 12-hour, so this is a longer term trade, you would be long from about 55 and then, you know, continuing up, because that's where we have turned. So if we go to the daily, we are, you know, we didn't even close our long this whole time. So we are long from way, 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 way down here. So yeah, so we're long from 33. So that's, so when I'm trading and I'm in my extended long position, so I always tell everyone that I've got 3 trades. I've got a long-term trade, I've got a shorter term trade, and then I have an account that I scalp in when I have time. So my trade is long from this position from 33,000. and it is still long. It hasn't crossed over. It nearly crossed over at this point, but it didn't quite cross over. And so this is still a long-term trade for me at this point. So, you know, and this is always in a 10 times margin when it does cross at this point. So I start laddering into the trade, and then as I've put in my group, I've recommended that they start laddering into this position, and we can see from here. So once these cross over and we open a long position, we can see that we've done, so 86%. And so that's a really nice trade in a 10 times margin. So it's 860% from this region. So, you know, that's from January. So it's a, you know, it's about a 2-month trade. So it's not a bad profit when you think about it. It's so in this region again, so we've got a similar scenario where, you know, obviously if you're on trading a 12-hour chart, you're going to be going long in this region and continuing up. So this chart here, so you've got that 40% move, it could continue up. So I think this is kind of the halfway point. We've got this wave congestion that we saw at 10K, and we should continue up here. So don't go too crazy with the margin, guys, because that is how you get wrecked. And a lot of exchanges know where the stops are. So
Lisa, I should give the audience a little bit of bad news here. You're not going to be back next Monday. Unfortunately, you're still going to have to find Lisa on the regular on Twitter and on her channel. We'll be back here on Monday with this TA show will continue. But we won't see Lisa for a while. So I'd like to just say, look, thanks. You've been doing this with us on the channel for a year. Mm-hmm. We had a good giggle looking back at some of our old videos and some amazing calls that you made. I think you're one of the very, very few people that just absolutely nailed the big calls on Bitcoin last year when everyone else was calling it to go down. You weren't, and you were bang on. So look, yeah, thanks so much for being a hard forker for as long as you have. You've been very instrumental in helping grow this channel. We hugely appreciate the time you've put in, and we hope to see you back here at some point. But you know, everyone knows what you're up to at the moment.
Definitely pop in and say hello. But I will be doing shorter TA shows on my own YouTube channel, because this long show obviously takes me a whole day to put together. And with my group now, I just don't have the time. So it's a decision that I had to come to, just to move forward with everything that I've got, and a film that's in production, and so many things.
Yes, I see a couple of people putting some sad faces in there, but look, we hope to we'll certainly be in touch. Where you've become a good friend of mine over the I'm just trying to figure out how long it's been. It's been a couple of years that I've known you now, but it seems like a lot longer.
I think it would be 2018 or 2019. So it was
a conference in Singapore.
Yeah,
a couple of years ago.
Yeah, so that was.
There's some crying faces there, but look, Lisa's not going anywhere. You'll still be able to find her on Twitter, on the daily, on her channel, and I'm sure she'll pop in now and again as well.
And you'll find me on my group. I'm there a lot, and we've ironing out all the glitches that we've had from the overwhelming response. So it's been crazy.
I hear you've got 1,000 people that have signed up so far.
We have. So
amazing.
Over 1,000 now, and we're on a wholly dedicated server that is just us, and it's managed and hopefully has no more downtime. And so we've got a forum coming, and we've just got a whole heap of stuff. So you'll see Sean in there. He will be in there. So he's going to come in and say hello from time to time and get some signals.
Yes, and I hope you come back and say hello as well. We will continue. We'll be back here with a new version of the show next Monday. Going to be hard to replace, Lisa.
Well, you can't replace me. Irreplaceable.
Oh, someone says they're unsubscribing from HardForking now. Okay.
Oh no, he has some really good shows, so don't do that, guys. Don't
Yeah, so
do
you
that.
have to check out what we do on the Monday trading show next week, people. You can make that decision then. But Lisa, yeah, look, thanks for all your time, and we're sure we'll see you back here and there on the channel.
Yes, you
You
will.
have been one of the team for a long time, but yep, fully understand with what you're doing, and more power to you. We'll be great supporters of that.
Awesome. Thank you. All right.
Yeah. So back
Let's
to the
get back to
charts.
the
What's
chart
happened with Ethereum?
first.
It actually did something this week.
Well, this is Ethereum. So let's go and have a look. So we're just correcting. I've got about 500 charts right now. So we have been in this minor channel, and we are coming down. We're currently at the base, but I think we're going to just break down a little bit. So if we go to the hourly, we are coming down to, we're on the 100 MA, possibly could come down to the 200 MA in this region and then continue up. So we are needing to see a little bit of a correction. So the other day we came back down. We've retested this previous support as previous resistance as a support. Ethereum does like to do that a couple of times on all supports, so we could possibly see that coming down to the 200. So the 200 is about 1,900-ish if we break down from this 100 MA. And yeah, so our MACD is currently turned down, so which means that we are seeing a little bit of a dip here, and the RSI is showing that it is coming down. So if we have a look at this RSI like we did for Bitcoin, it's potentially getting a bounce here and continuing up. So, you know, we have a look at this way on the RSI. We can see that we retested at this point and we've broken down. So hang on, that's not what I wanted to do. So if we go to this, so we've got this retest here, which is this point here, and it's hit on the RSI. So if you watch the RSI and you also draw support and resistance on these regions, you will see that, you know, the waves actually reject and hold support. So at this point, we should see a minor bounce. And then, you know, if we do break down from this uptrend channel, the next step is this 200 MA, which is about 1900-ish. So yeah, so if you're in a long, just be careful you are not over margining in this region. So like we saw on BTC, if you were on the daily on this chart, you would be bullish from here. So Ethereum turned bullish at about 1740. So we had a bullish cross here, we had a bearish cross here, and then another bullish cross. So it was quite congested in that region. So you would currently be holding that long. So it may retest those EMAs as well as retesting the MAs on those lower time frames.
I got a Bitcoin end of year price off you a few weeks back, Lisa. Given we might not be doing a show together for a while, what can I trouble you for a long-term prediction on Ethereum? There's a hell of a lot of people hyping it at the moment, saying it's ready to take off.
Yeah, so I saw Peter Brandt, who I have done some of his training a long time ago, and know him quite well. So he was hyping up that he's put a lot of money into Ethereum over the last couple of weeks. So, which is quite interesting, because obviously once they iron out the glitches that they've got with the issues with the team and with, you know, sort of the direction they're going, then this will really take off. So if let's go to a weekly chart.
Yeah, we've had Mark Cuban hyping it as well over the last week.
Yeah, so This chart is BitMEX, so it doesn't have all the data, but so if we put some waves on here, if we do some Lisa Narchi, as I like to call it, because it's done a little bit differently. So we can get some long term because this is a weekly chart. We've got an $8,000 target currently on Ethereum. So that's 400%.
Yeah, I've certainly been moving some of my alt profits across to Ethereum in the last week.
Yeah, so we've got a 300% rise there, sorry. So on Ethereum. So if you're in even a modest margin trade at the moment, because we've crossed bullish in this region, you would be 300% at a 10 times margins, 3,000%. So by the end of the year, that's some nice dollars.
I'm in one.
So you just obviously need to watch fees and that sort of thing. A lot of these exchanges have some pretty major fees, but yeah, so 8,030 as we go. I'll adjust that obviously as I do, but that's the current rate right now. So yeah. So let's jump into BNB. I'm going to have slow computer. So it decided it didn't want to correct down. It just continued up. So I had some orders down in this region and I ended up buying on breakout. So, and it's continued. So, you know, there's a lot of IDOs coming through on BNB right now. So that's driving the price because obviously to get into these IDOs and to get into these initial exchange listings, you need to be in BNB. And yeah, so that's driving the price again. So we've got that sort of bounce with those.
IDOs are certainly the flavor of the month, aren't they?
They are. So they're the IDOs or the ICOs that we saw in 2017. So, you know, they're everywhere right now and, you know, listing and having crazy listing prices. So anyone in IDO is just absolutely making bank. So yeah. This is eGold. So from our green star, we've had that retrace. We came back. We didn't hit the cross support, but we were a bit higher. And we've made 65%. We should hold at above 152 on eGold and then continue up. So 1 inch, it's got an accumulation channel at the moment. So if we put that in a channel, we can see that this region's quite a strong region. We are holding the MAs at the moment and should continue up. So 1 inch does like its channels and it does really sort of respect them. And this pattern is sort of coming around and curling around. So it's quite a good pattern to start trading. So yeah, so around the sort of the $4.28, $4.30 mark, and then it should continue up from there. So XRP has had all the right moves today. So
I bought it this morning, Lisa, for the first time since probably 217.
Wow.
And so it took off.
And then I sold it, and then I bought it, and then I sold it again. So because we keep hitting resistance points. So I'm currently waiting in this region a little bit lower. So I've got some orders around the 60. Actually, they're almost picked up. So about 67 mark. 67 down to 64. I've got some laddered orders. If we do come into that region, I think we'll hold this previous channel and then continue up. So there's lots and lots of rumors that this is going to be relisted on a lot of exchanges soon. So yeah, I think that's what's driving this price right now.
Okay.
So yeah, so we've had since we've been following it, obviously we had this spike, which was you know, Twitter and sort of a lot of Telegram groups and Discord groups getting together and you know, pushing the price up over a 3 or 4 day period. You know, it dropped back down, and we've gradually sort of corrected sideways. And you know, once we can break this red support, that it's looking so good, and it's like literally going to fly. So, you know, XRP, I think this range in here is a really good range to be buying sort of for a longer term trade. And, you know, again, if you're in a margin trade, this is cross bullish on the daily. And, you know, it's looking really good. So we've got about 150% move here, which is, you know, 10 times is 1,500%, which is a nice investment. So there's a couple of people going, oh, I don't know why you trade XRP. And it's like, that's the reason, because when it moves, it really moves. But you do need to have a stop loss on XRP, because when it moves the other way, it really moves the other way as well. So, yeah. KSM has hit a fifth wave on this, so we're having a correction. Now, it's really hard to tell which wave KSM is in, because it just keeps moving.
It's not what I wanted to hear.
Yeah. So we've got all these parachain auctions happening at the moment. So you know, while these are sort of continuing and happening, Kasama is going to continue. Now this was originally the test net, as I've said many times on the show, and they are keeping this as a separate entity to DOT. So you know, and then the chains will be sold off. So they're done in such a way so you can build, you know, your coin or your token on Kasama, and so you take a lease. So you know, the chain goes to auction. If you win that auction, you take a lease on that chain. I think it's a 2-year lease, and then you can build your project. And then after 2 years, you've got to find you've either got to bid, be the highest bidder and hope that your project has done amazing things within that 2 years, or you're looking for a new home. So that's kind of how it is working at the moment with Kasama. So it's a really interesting project, and it will keep that money flow circulating. So that's something to look for when you're looking at all these projects, that this is a long-term hold for me. So some coins I trade short-term. This is a longer term, and I trade the larger bounces, which is what we've had in this region. And so I'll be buying back. I've bought back in this region here. So, and it should continue up. Yeah, so Kasama is definitely a long-term one. We should get to the 1,000 point. You know, if it continues in the way it is, you know, 2,000 to 3,000 is really possible. Yep. So, you know, we're just over the $400 mark at the moment. So that's a nice move.
Yep, I picked up some more during the dip. It's definitely a long hold for me.
So this is Kai. So it is almost finished correction. So we are on, we're just kind of breaking down a little bit on this diagonal support. That's okay. Our RSI is starting to cool, and it should start moving up soon. It's had an epic run of, you know, 900% from this region, 750% from here. So yeah, I'll be buying back in soon on this. I'm just watching to see how this region holds, and then that will be a strong buy for me. This is AAVE, previously was known as Lend, and then it has broken out of above our resistance, currently consolidating. So we do have a cross support in this region and the 100 MA. So this is a margin traded coin on Binance as well. So if you are in a margin trade, just be careful. There's potential that could break down. I don't necessarily see that happening, but just in case, have some orders waiting there. Acro, which was one of our coins of the week, has it moved 100%. It's in a minor correction right now, and then should continue up. So we should hold around this region, which is our wave 1 high, and then so we'll do the 3 waves in this 3, and then, you know, have a deeper correction and then continue. But it's moving really strongly, and will continue.
Lisa, we've had some amazing coins of the week over the last year.
Oh, we have. They've
my God
done at least 100%. A lot of them have done a lot more than that. So yeah.
Bated breath to see what we got this week. I hope it's a goodie. Could be our last one. No pressure. You got to finish strong.
No pressure. So if we jump into,
you're only as good as your last trade.
I don't ever have a last trade. I've always got about 50 trades open.
This
so
it's
like, yeah, it'd be bad if all 50 hit stop losses. I'd cry. But anyway, this is AVAX. So this is actually my most requested coin or chart on Twitter. So I think we've had 500 requests on this over the last week. So it is so crazy. So I thought I would have it on the show. So we're seeing this strong accumulation that we've seen in a lot of the charts that we saw in eGold, that we saw in Lend, and they're all kind of starting to break out. Now, we did break down from that first support, but that's okay because we found this support here. And, you know, it's holding really nicely in this region. So from what everyone is saying, there's some big stuff happening with AVAX. So this is one to really look at because I think it's going to really start moving. So I've got some big targets on this one. So if we're buying around the sort of the 27.7 mark, we've got a 200% move on AVAX coming up over the next probably month, I would say. So it's in a formation that it's going to start moving. Rio. So Rio we've had on the show and it's done 190% profits from when we had it on the show. It is now forming a bull flag. So we've still got, and it's found support in this region. So on this bull flag, we've got another sort of 125% to go on this, which is still nice profits. We're in this deep sort of cut pattern. So once we get to around this point, so we should have a deeper correction. We'll probably come down to this red support here. So which is about the 2.8 once we get to that high. So, you know, if you're trading this, that's a good region to look at for a retrace. Sometimes a lot of these coins come down fairly quickly. So, yeah. So Strax is, I think this was a coin of the week as well. Was Strax a coin of the week? Can't remember.
Don't know. Would have been a while ago, maybe. Not recently. Yeah. What's it done?
So we've from this lower region, I think it was because we were down here and we were breaking out. So from this region, we've got 260%. If you've been trading the stars, they've been on Twitter. So 135% in this region. And from this point, we are now at 87% profits. So yeah, so it's been doing some nice stuff. It's going to hold above this channel here and then continue up. So it's going to just consolidate in this region. It's about the $2 mark. It should, $2, yeah, 1.99. So 2 cents. Is it $2 or 2 cents? I don't know. Blonde moment. So yeah, it's going to.
It's going up, is what you're saying, anyway.
Going up from 1.99. So yeah, so Ocean is the most boring coin ever at the moment. It just goes sideways forever. The MACD is sideways. Everything's sideways. Everything's boring.
Oh. So, why have we got a boring coin on the show?
I thought I'd show because
finally requested, obviously.
I'm looking for it on Twitter, and I'm like, it's so boring. Trade something that moves. It might move at one point, but it's not. So don't trade it.
This one's certainly moved, hasn't it, this week?
Yeah, so this one's done, this is Dent, it's done 110% profits. It's going to see a small consolidation in this region, and then it'll take off again. So really, really strong coin. This is Rev. Now it's correcting down to this previous support. So we should see a bounce sort of around the 40 mark and then continue on. So that's not unlikely for these new patterns to do. They do often overcorrect to regions they have been to before and just retest these previous supports. So that one is looking really strong from here. So if we
all the NFTs I'm currently in, I really do like this one.
Yeah, so this one's got a 200% move from around this region. So, you know, it's still got some really nice profits from there. So this chart is going to have nothing. So yeah, reason being, so NPXS or Pundi is currently being taken off because they are now redenominating. So, you know, for anyone that's having a stress attack that their NPXS has disappeared, I've seen some tweets, it's getting redenominated. It takes about 2 to 3 days for exchanges to support this, and then it's relisted. So obviously, you know, all the tokenomics change and everything like that changes. So now it will be multiplied by 1,000 times, and then usually they come into the market, they go up and then they go down. So don't, you know, stress terribly. If it continues to correct, it will eventually go back up. So that's exactly, if we go back to the e-gold chart, you know, Elrond redenominated to e-gold, and we can see that when we came into the market, we were about $34. We had quite a good spike. So we listed at around 15, and we had a really nice spike to about 34 at this point. And then we had this really long-term correction. So this was from September last year, and then we kind of started moving at around this point in November, and then really starting moving in January. So that's kind of what we're in a slightly more advanced market. So NPXS or Pundis may not have that extended period of correction, but just so everyone's aware, that is what potentially can happen when they do relist.
Okay.
So this is, I'm going to say this is BitShares, because everyone thinks I say bitches. So with my accent, I've had some people stir me up over it. So it's BitShares. It still sounds like this. I don't know how to do that. It's like I need a proper English accent.
We love your Australian accent, Lisa.
So
tell us about your bitches.
Yeah, my bitches. It's done 110%. It's having a minor correction, and then it will continue up. So we've got this nice cup forming with bitches, and just amusing myself here. I've got like things everywhere. So we have, from this point of correction, we should hang around the sort of just above 1 here. So we still have about 140%. We could go a little bit higher on this one. So it's still looking really, really good. This is VIDT. So it's in a channel. It's been chopping up in this channel. So this is VIDT data link. So it still has massive big profit potential on this pattern. So we have only just begun. So we're hitting this channel and correcting down, currently going up. We may see one more retrace in this region before heading up. So unless we break out here. So we're right on the point of breaking out. So yeah, so, but to complete this pattern, technically we do need one more wave down. So, which, yeah. MACD though is really starting to turn up. So if we zoom in on that, we've not crossed over yet, but it's looking pretty close to crossing over. This is one that I have been watching, and it took off before I could get a signal, which was really annoying. So I woke up, it had already gone. So it is more than likely going to correct down to the 2.200. I think, how many zeros are there? There's a few zeros. 0.022, and then continue up. Yeah, and it's got some strong sort of fundamentals happening on that one. Audio is one that I told you to buy. Sean, did you buy it?
Maybe.
Did you? You want to see how much? Gee, 1,200% profits. We're now correcting. So this wave should come down one more wave. So we've got about the 253-ish mark before we sort of see a reversal on this wave. There's a possibility we could truncate here because the RSI is quite low. This is a 2-hour chart. So if we go to a higher time frame, we've still got some more correction to go. So on the high time frame, we're definitely coming back to about the 250-ish range. So and then it will continue up. So this is one like that I have said that I've got. This is one that it's a game changer for what it does. And it, you know, sort of they are coming in. So this is what they're calling the Spotify killer. Yeah, so if it can get functioning and working how it should be working, then this, you know, download a song that you want to listen to and the royalties go straight out. And it's, you know, the way that the smart contracts work is really, really good for the artists. So really, really a big fan of this project, and we'll be buying back in when that wave starts to show, you know, some bullish momentum. So this was our trade of the week also. So it has now done, hang on, 90% profits. So we have looked at that one. So we had this buy zone, it dipped a little bit down, but it held this diagonal. Did you buy this one, Sean?
I did. I've been picking up most of our coins of the week. You're gonna laugh at me. The only one I didn't get was hot.
Oh my goodness, you didn't get.
Look, I was so sick last week. I went straight to bed. I had a big position in DSLA. That was the other coin of the week. So I figured, okay, at least I got one of them.
Yeah,
that's done very well as well. So it's not the end of the world.
So yeah. This is Anchor. Now we're on the diagonal support, so we shouldn't be far off turning around on this. As long as this can hold in this region. It's looking a bit sort of shaky right now. So I am watching this. The RSI looks to be sort of gradually traveling down. So, you know, it could have one more dip before it turns around. AGI, which was one of our coins of the week, has been a slower mover because obviously it's a BTC pair, and with BTC being incredibly bullish, we've had some lesser moves, but we've done 160% so far on this. So at this point here, so let's just update that. So the coins of the week have done some really sort of epic price, you know, movements, which has been really nice.
Sure have.
Why have I got MPXS there twice? I don't need that. So this is ONT. It's going to have a little bit of consolidation between these two fib levels. It's done 135% profits, and it should continue up. So if we should get one more wave down before heading up. So 130% still to go on this one. And, you know, it has got some news and stuff that has been sort of filtering out very gradually. So I expect that to continue to move. I've got Kai there twice. I've got half of these charts there twice because I was looking at them, making sure that I had. So this is capacity.
One I've never heard of.
Yeah, so this is one that a few
Capacity.
people are capacity. So that have been talking about on Twitter. So I am watching this one. It has a really strong, interesting pattern. So it may come down and retest this 100 MA. But if we put a channel on this, it's actually like got a nice, strong parallel channel happening. So, it should sort of start holding this region and then continuing up. So, around this sort of level and then continue up. So much chatter about this coin, so that's the only reason I'm sort of looking at it. And because when there starts to get sort of build that momentum of people talking more and more about things, then they really start to move. So AVAX had 500 people request it, so I sort of take note as to sort of how many requests and how much sort of community is around these coins. So this one has quite a bit of community that are sort of talking about it and everything. So 140% coming up on it. And then we've had some
do you sort of give Lunar Crush much credence? I was looking at some of their stats yesterday. Is that an indicator or a site you?
Yeah, some of they do, because they're listening, they're social listening. So they're sort of, I do have a look what's sort of trending on there and going up on there. So it's quite an interesting site. I'm not sure how they're
after the fact sort of metric though with them, or
yeah, it is an after the fact. So if you're looking sort of for patterns and that sort of thing, like I do, you're going to get these coins before they move.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Lunar Crush obviously picks up all of the chatter. So if there's big movements on a lot of these coins, obviously there's going to be a lot more sort of conversation about them on Twitter and on social media. Yeah, so
Tron, Lisa, Tron, that whole ecosystem just shot off this week. What the hell's going on?
Well, it did. So there was an 800 million tether print that went to the Tron network. As they say, it doesn't buy anything, but clearly it does. So Tron has made 210% since we've had it on the show. Wink is the other one that is also on the Tron network. So
good God, I know. And what was the other one? BitTorrent's done had a huge week.
Yeah, so I've got a BitTorrent chart somewhere. Might have jumped it. Here we go.
Justin's been up to
oh my goodness, it's like smashed my targets. I haven't updated anyone on that. So yeah. So I just have been raising my stop loss on this one because it's just been, as we can see, crazy bullish. So I do need to add some more targets, but I'm still in this trade. So currently, like if we take it to here, it's made 700%. If you got to sell the top, you made 888. Number of money. Go Justin. So if you bought it back here when we had it on the show in, I think, March last year, you're at sort of almost 3,000%. So it's gone sort of crazy. So that's the thing you need to look at, sort of money flow. And I have talked about money flow on the show a lot. So where the Tether will always say when they're doing these prints what it's for, whether it's for Tron network, whether it's for Omni network, or where it's going. So it's always, or OMG network. So a lot of those will have strong movements when those Tether prints happen. So yeah. So let me find my win chart.
Oh, huge moves. So I think it was actually, that was a coin of the week. God, probably middle of last year, I think.
Yeah. So it was a big move. 2 seconds. I've just got to clean them up. I
No
actually
problem.
have them
Just having a look at some of the comments while you're doing that.
So we've got hot. All right. So share my screen.
430 people watching. We only got 136 likes. Come on, people.
Hit smash the like button, guys. Smash it.
Give Lisa a big like for possibly the last show we're doing for a while. Get in there. Hit that like button.
So we've got a very, very, very oversold RSI on Win here. So, and we've had 275% profits. So it looks like we've found a little bit of support in this region. So that's a really nice. So this was one of my signals this week in my group. So it's done some nice movements. We had, I think 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 stop losses hit during the week just due to the volatility with BTC. But we've had a couple of big wins, which has been nice. So this was one of them with a 275% move. Hot was another one that we had on the show here, which has done 190% profits.
Coin of the week last week.
It was. So, you know, big moves. And I think there's a lot more to go. It's looking really, really good and really, really strong. So to continue up, we've probably got another 100 or 200% on that one. And
I'm hoping you've got the other coin of the week from last week. Have you got that there, DSLA?
I do somewhere. So this was fun that we've had a little bit on the show. So I think back down here we had it was like one of the coins of the weeks and it's like taken off. So we've taken off again. We've done about 85%. It's correcting down to this previous channel. This region should hold. So around the sort of 49.50 with some zeros in front, 0.49, 0.50. And then it's a slow mover though. So if you do buy fun, it's not fun for a long time. It's only fun for a short time. So yeah, so you have to be patient with fun and yeah, sort of, yeah. What am I looking at? I'm looking at DSLA.
Yeah, this is one that sort of fundamentally I've liked for a long time. I've been flagging it for a while, and fortunately they listed on a centralized exchange with stop losses. So Lisa got in there as well.
We did. So we did 107%. It's currently correcting down. You know, it's the corrections that it is having is quite short and sharp. So we're going to fill out probably this region here and then continue up. So if we can put a channel on that actually. So we look to have a channel sort of forming. So we should get a bullish flag sort of forming here and then continue up. So this is a really strong pattern that this coin has. It's got a little bit of congestion in the MACD, but it is still probably a little bit high. So we will see a little bit of sideways movement in this region for a little bit longer. So last but not least, I'm going to get my coin of the week, which is Band. So Band have some big announcements coming over the next month, and so I've got this and I've got a long-term hold coming after this coin. So Band is my coin of the week, and I think it'll definitely do. Definitely. I shouldn't say that.
Not financial advice, people.
But it will. Yeah, it's not financial advice, but it's going to do 100%. So.
Well, I mean, they've recently partnered with one of the biggest financial institutions in Thailand. Thailand's actually having a real crypto boom at the moment. Actually,
Thailand is absolutely taking off with crypto right now. So it's doing some crazy, incredible things. And so Band, I think once that news starts sort of circulating, this is going to really take off. So I've got 400% profit on this. As we know in crypto, that could be long term. It could take 2 to 3 months, or it could be tomorrow. Who knows?
Yeah. The other thing I'm noticing, Lisa, is a lot of these Oracle projects, which is what Band is. There seems to be a lot of capital flowing into them. I'm sort of concerned maybe some of the NFT stuff might be topping out. And some of the capital moving into these Oracle players is
it seems to be the next thing. So like I was saying with those audio movie block and those sort of coins as well, they're ones to look at. So there's a lot of money flowing into those just due to the potential of what they can achieve, because they do compete with things like Spotify and Apple Music and that sort of thing, and are real game changers in the industry. So make sure you are looking at those. I haven't done I'll have a look at them in a moment, so I have to bring up Ava, but I will so this is Sky BTC. So this one also has potential. They've got a hard fork coming over the next, I think, month. And so it's got some really cool things happening with it. So at the moment this is a 4-hour chart, so it's it's hitting RSI sort of highs and then correcting. So this is a BTC pair. So obviously when BTC is going up, this is going to go down a little bit. It has been holding its own in the drops that BTC has been having, so it's not doing too bad. So let me just go to Sky and I
had dinner with the founders of this a couple of years ago, actually, on a Mediterranean cruise, and it hasn't really been on my radar, so I'm quite interested to hear what you have to say about it.
I share my screen again and we can see kind of what it's doing. Where have you gone? There we go. And we can see the reason why I'm kind of looking at this, and it's quite interesting chart. So we've got when I'm kind of looking for these long-term holds and these gems, obviously I've told you before what I look for in these patterns, and it's a thing called alt curl, what I like to call alt curl. So if we look at this, we can see this region. So I've zoomed in on this portion of the chart, which you can do on CoinMarketCap. We can see that we've got strong liquidity coming back into the market. So by zooming out and going to the year, we can see that it's been quite flat for that period. And then, over the last month, we've got that sort of alt curl happening. And that's what I really look for in these projects. So once we start to get the alt curl is when we start to get that big money, because that means they've got, some stuff kind of happening with them. So, and this is what this coin has got happening. So obviously we've got the hard fork. So it's like, they call it a bank in your pocket. So it does, it's a wallet. It's actually, it's kind of cool. It's an ecosystem. So you can, transfer all your money within the wallet. It works a little bit like SafePal. And obviously with those sort of wallets like Trust Wallet with SafePal, they connect to all these dexes. So essentially I'm thinking this will have something to do with that, with the ecosystem, or they'll have some sort of staking on it. So, long term, this is a long-term hold for me. And, over the last day, it's done about 14%. And probably done about 50-60% over the last probably week. It's going to continue. So if we zoom in here, we can see that it's, it's curling up. We've got a nice cut pattern. We've had a bit of a correction. We should continue up.
Some pretty big industry players behind this one as well, from memory, isn't there?
Yeah, some really massive industry players. So, and this is another I think it's sort of based in the sort of the Asian regions as well. So possibly Thailand. So, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's it. So we want to be in this week in Sky Coin, in Band, and any other that I've talked about.
There you go. Excellent. The last thing I wanted to ask you is we have discussed this before, but where do you think we are in this bull market? Could you put a percentage on it? And I suppose more importantly, as a technical analyst, what indicators would you be looking at to try and figure out where we are in this particular cycle, with things like Bitcoin dominance play a role in you assessing where we're at? I mean, typically, if we look at 217, you see that phase where a lot of the top alts, a lot of capital will flow into those, sort of the second third of that cycle. The last third, it's typically a sort of lower cap, higher risk alts, which tend to take off. I hear some commentators saying, well, maybe we're there now when you're seeing the...
I don't think so. I think we're still really early days. I think, this is... we're at the internet boom. So we're at, oh my God, getting dings. So we're at that stage where the internet is just booming, and, Google's just listed, and Yahoo's just listed, and, they're sort of, and Apple's just listed, and it's all exciting. So crypto is at that stage now. So we're in the early days. We're still early. We're only sort of 10 years in. And, in the whole scheme of the market, it's a tiny market still so far. Bitcoin in this pattern, we're probably about 50, we've got another 100% on this move before we have another correction or pullback, and then we'll continue up. So I think we'll hit around the 140, 150K mark before we get a major correction. I sort of think where we are now, we're going to go another 100%. If you're in a margin, that's a lot of money. And so this point here where we're getting this strong consolidation is really, really needed for this market to grow. As you can see, we've got crypto changes the way the world does everything. So, it changes the way that you interact with money. It changes the way that contracts interact. It changes the way people get paid. These are all getting inbuilt into, the smart contracts and how this all works. So this, it changes the way the world interacts. And with COVID happening, that has become, more and more necessary, because everyone's sort of working remotely from home or wherever, and it allows the world to be a lot more free. So, and for me, it's really, really super early days, and any of these coins and tokens that we're investing in right now, I think have big futures.
You got a lot of people screaming for an AVA chart here. Did we not cover that?
Oh, that's the one I forgot. Yes.
And also, apparently, AXS has taken off. Has that just happened now? Is that what I'm hearing? There's a few people writing that in there.
So it's had a small little bounce. So
someone's saying Band is moving as well. Surely not already.
Band always moves when we.
Is it getting the Lisa pump? Is it?
It must be getting a Lisa pump. So let me share my screen.
Hey, come on, people. We're hanging around taking your requests here, but there's a hell of a lot more of you watching than we're getting likes. So come on. We're not sure when we're doing another show with Lisa. So hit that like button. Show some love.
You will catch me on my YouTube channel with a shorter show, though.
Yeah.
not an
not
hour
going away.
Show.
Don't worry.
So I'm not disappearing. So this is Ava. So Ava's had some epically awesome news. So you can now book flights from their site. They have the highest revenue of a lot of travel industry people and players at the moment as well. And really super, super high bookings. The most hotels booked that they've ever have booked in their whole like time that they've been around. And just like massive partnerships. So you can book if you want to, say you go and you are actually allowed to travel, which you're not so much. So with Ava, you can book all your, you know, you want to go and do some parasailing, or you want to jump out of a plane or whatever. You can do that all through Travala. So, you know, it's an amazing workable project. So
one of the few things in crypto where I can put my hand up and say, I have used this. I've actually used it.
So
you know, some of these other things, yes, we trade them based on charts and so forth. But come on, are we really doing anything?
On and on and on and on and on about this, but it is well worth going on about because it's an amazing project. So if we have a look at the RSI, we are at the point where we should see a reversal. This is a 4-hour chart. So we're going to see some movement in this region, and we've got 100% possible move. So we're at about $5. So we should be seeing $10 in the not too distant future on Ava, especially if the news that I think is coming comes out. So in the next couple. So this is a really strong buy for me. Well, I'm in, but I do like add more to my position on this one, and I have a really large position. It's incredible, and I never do this, but this one's almost at 10% of my portfolio. So yeah, big supporter of Ava and Travala and where they're going.
Very good. Fantastic, Lisa. So obviously you're not going anywhere. People can jump into your...
You can find me Twitter. You can find me a lot of the time on gettingstartedincrypto.com. And yeah.
And the link below to your Signals channel.
Thank you. And you'll see Sean in there from time to time. I'm sure he'll drop in and say hello.
Absolutely, and we do. I'm sure you're welcome here anytime. You know that you've definitely been one of the hard forkers for a hell of a long time now. We absolutely love having you on the channel. Got some great memories right back from when it was me, you, and Dee Dee laughing around, dildoing away.
Lots and lots of fun.
Yeah, we've had lots of other great guests, and we're certainly the door's always open anytime you want.
I've got a hair now because I don't have COVID hair. Some of those episodes I look back and I'm like, whoa, home hair dye.
Okay, I'm seeing lots of banned FOMO comments popping up here. I'm glad
let me have a look at banned and see where we are before we go.
Well, I don't think we've ever really had a coin of the week that's failed. So hopefully we go out with a big flourish here on banned.
Yeah, we've had a nice strong bounce on band. So and it's like moving. We've had a 5% bounce while we've been on the show, so it had corrected down. So let me quickly share that and you can have a look. So we came down. So this is my ideal buy zone, and we're just breaking out of that region. So it's looking really, really good to continue on.
Okay, go the band.
Go the band. But like you were saying, it's got really strong fundamentals, and sort of Thailand and the Asian communities are really sort of getting behind this. And it's a really strong project. So an Oracle project. So if you're not sure what those are, have a look. There's a few of them at the moment, and I'll be looking at more over the next little bit with my group.
Yeah, crypto volumes in Thailand have gone up over 500% since November. It's really taking off in that country.
Yeah.
Where I hope to be back to in the near future once I can get on a plane.
Yes.
Hopefully see you in Australia at some point. I think that might be the only place we'll be able to travel from my country.
Tomorrow to see my nana who's turned.
Oh yes, congratulations to your nana. 100 today, eh?
No, yesterday she turned 100. So and they cancelled my flight today.
Oh,
It's probably a good thing. Everyone in the server at Getting Started in Crypto is like, yes, she's going to be around still. So,
All right, Lisa. Well, look, we hope to see you back here in the future. And look, what a great year, or even longer. I think it's been having you as one of the team. So yeah, I mean, what 1,000 signups in your first week with your Signals channel. It's amazing. Good luck with that. I wish you all the best, and
thank you.
Yeah, hope to see you back here in the near future. But all the best to you and your team.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all back here, people. So there will be a TA show here next Monday. Come and check it out. You might like it. Thanks very much, Lisa. Thank you all for watching. Hit the like button, people. Give Lisa a nice send off with a big like. We'll see you all next Monday.